These types of milk curds, Aaruul, which I don't really know how to pronounce because it has two long vowels, are traditionally eaten by the nomadic people of Mongolia because they can be stored for a long time. They use basically milk that's been left out and turned into yogurt as their ingredient, and they're very easy to make and easy to store. Mongolian nomads, way back in the day, this would have been pretty much what they only ate, only eating meat and other things like that on special occasions. The first thing you're going to want to have to make these curds will be a lot of yogurt. I'm in this case using unpasteurized goat yogurt, and a cheesecloth, which you can see the way I've set it up here is it's over a bowl. You can put it over a bowl or a bucket, and I've sort of tied it in this way so that when I put the baz in, it'll drain out properly, and you'll see that later in the video why it's set up like that. So you're going to want to pour all of the yogurt into the widest pan that you have access to and bring it to a boil. Two indicators that'll let you know the boiling is done is hearing this sort of sound come from the bubbling, and the liquid will have become sort of thicker, and that's when you know to stop it from boiling. Now you're just going to want to let the yogurt sit out for a very long time. Just go and do something for like 30 minutes, and by the time you come back, it should have developed into a very thick, non-liquid texture called baz, and you're going to be putting that onto your cheesecloth. Now you're going to want to take your cheesecloth and suspend it from someplace high, letting all of the liquid drip out for around 30 minutes. Now after that, I took the cheesecloth and dried it out in a towel. Ideally, you would want to be drying out this cheesecloth outside, but where I live, it's very humid outside, and the moisture will not leave the cheesecloth if I just left it out there. So the goal is to get all of the moisture out of the cheesecloth and make it dry as possible. Using a towel was fine for me. I then wrap the cheesecloth over with the towel. I place this sort of flat cutting board above it, and on top of that I put my ankle weights. You're going to want to put weights on top of that to weigh the cheese down, and you're going to want to leave it there for a whole day. Again, ideally, you'd want to put this outside with no towel and have weights over it outside drying. But if you are not in the correct circumstances like me to put it outside, then using a towel is fine. After a day of it resting under the weights, you're going to want to take everything off, and I used a thread to cut through it and individuate them into individual curds and just leave it out to dry. I put a heater next to it to make it dry faster. Ideally, you would dry it outside. After the drying process, they're going to be ready to eat. They can be stored for a long time. They're very good for you. And yeah, that's basically it.